Hi everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of a bed that I've been working on for, oh gosh, I want to say about a month and a half now. You've seen bits and pieces of it as I transplanted things, as I worked on things, but today we're calling it done. Now, the landscape around it is not done. For this year, this bed is done. The only thing else I'll do with it is add some drip irrigation at some points. The pipes are all in already. All I have to do is run the individual lines. So let's take a tour. A couple of months ago when I started this whole process, this is what the bed looked like. It's got a piece of conduit running up the back of it that has electrical source for the air conditioner that's around the corner. It's got lots of weeds, and it has some peppermint in some spots and some oregano in another spot, and odd bits and pieces of herbs basically. So what I did was I turned it into an armored bed. Now what I mean by that is it has hardware cloth in the bottom all the way down here. We've been talking about doing that for a while. Initially when we built the bed, we didn't know we had to do that because we had been here for several years and had not had gopher problems. It wasn't until the last, I guess 4 years about, that we've had real problems here. These are the rhubarb that I moved from the bed out in the middle of the yard. These are some violas that I rescued because they were in the way. They've self-seeded, and I want them to continue self-seeding in here. They love the area along the house here, and sometimes we will have them during a mild spell in the wintertime. They'll bloom literally just about through the snow, which is pretty awesome. Those little smiling faces are just so cool. Just so cool. I never get tired of them. Anyway, so this line of rocks here is here because the roof edge drips right there, and it will splash mud up on everything otherwise. So those are river rocks that we collected years ago and we're using. Now, there's some onions that I transplanted, and this bed is spinach. Now, you'll notice that the side over here is looking spinachy. The side over here is not looking spinachy. If you would look really, really close, you would see that those plants were chewed off. But I guess you'd have to say, pleased to say that that was that mouse's last meal, because there was a mouse trap set there, and after he got done eating the spinach, he decided he would have the apple that was in the mouse trap, and that's all she wrote. Here we have some pak choi. I also have replanted. I put some new seeds in there because I'm not sure that the other ones are going to recover. We have pak choi here. These came as seedlings from the greenhouse, and I had noticed that somebody was chewing on them the other day too. See that? Which is why I had set a mouse trap over here in the first place. Because I'm like, someone's got that. Those are bites, and those are small enough bites that that's a mouse. This is some more of my onions that I transplanted from the greenhouse. This is the giganticus rhubarb that has lived here for multiple years. There is some sort of a little plant or two that grows underneath it. I need to figure out what they are. And it's my friend who gave me the rhubarb last year, and she couldn't remember. So I have to do some research. Once the flowers are blooming, I will get my catalog out and I'll figure it out. This, let's see. Those are pak choi. These are mini broccoli. These are Terek kohlrabi. These are Terek kohlrabi. These are Terek kohlrabi. And that is a regular broccoli. This section here was planted today. It does not have any compost on it because I ran out, and they didn't have any at the last 3 stores we've been to, so I know it'll come in eventually, but meanwhile we'll just have to deal with dry dirt. Anyway, so that's got more spinach in it, and we're hoping that this will not get much this time. This little spot over here is Jack's spot. I was trying to use this entire section here, but to be honest, he needed a spot on this side of the garden, so I donated this spot. And he knows not to go past this little weird green fence over here. So this will be his spot, and he likes to lay here. I watered it along with everything else today when I was watering the bed. But he likes to lay in the shade and watch Mom work, and Dad, you know, so. This is a flower garden. Last year this was full of all kinds of odd bits and pieces of zinnias and stuff like that. I do have a hollyhock that's in the back. That was actually planted last year. Lots and lots of bachelor buttons. In fact, we've got one blooming down here. 2 actually, but who's counting? Lots of violas. There's some California poppies in here. A mist, which is not blooming yet. Anyway, a bunch of different kinds of flowers, some of which are perennials, most of which just reseed really well. And I've decided that I'm not going to modify this much this year. I've transplanted a few things in. These, a bunch of these bachelor buttons were actually out in the area where the block is. So they were dug in here. So I dug them out and transplanted them. They transplant pretty well. I think I only lost 1 out of all of the ones I transplanted, so I'm happy. That bare spot right there is because Jack decided he was going to dig there the other day. And that's when I put up the little green fence again, because we have forgotten what the word no means over the winter when it comes to gardens. So he does know what the word no means when you point at the fence. He does have another spot, but it's on the other side of the door. And last year he was very happy with his spot. This year he has not been happy with his spot. I even water this in the summertime because it's really sandy here, and so it acts like an evaporative cooler. This bed here is a future project. It is not armored until you get all the way down about there. So this whole section here needs to be done. It used to have grape hyacinths and some other stuff in it, and now it has grass in it and some violas and gophers. So yeah, that's a project for later. Right now the focus, that's my one of my 2 gigantic lavender plants. But taking a look down this aisle here, I am extremely happy. This has been a long time coming, but I am very glad to be able to say that I'm calling it done for the year when it comes to this. There is this section here, this bed here is armored. That was done last year. So there is hardware cloth underneath it. It curls up at a right angle. Can't really see the edge of it here, which is just fine. I decided not to get involved with trying to continue the block all the way to the end here, and I just put the rocks and the fence there instead. It's good enough, and yeah, I'm not trying to create something that Better Homes and Gardens wants to show in their magazine. I'm trying to create something that's kind of cute and works for us and keeps the dog out. The cat bounces on through, but you know, she's a cat. She doesn't do too much damage most of the time. She's not a big digger, thank goodness, knock on wood. So here we are. Our goal is to use this bed to plant things that we don't think will work in the sun as well. I could probably planted the onions and stuff out there. I know they'll do fine out there, but they could be here too and it won't hurt them. But the brassicas and the spinach that I have in the greenhouse is already bolting because it's just, yeah, it was too hot for too long. And I've moved it outside now, but it's kind of too late. I hope that you find my crazy little garden that I've sort of tucked in here to be an inspiration. Not everything you do has to be perfect. Not everything you do has to be magazine worthy. but it feels really good to be able to look at this and say, okay, I got the important things done. Maybe I'll straighten this up a little bit. Maybe I'll add, I've always wanted to add some stone to the top of this to give it a more finished look. I know I'll add more perennials, but for now, it works. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be sure to come back because we've got all kinds of stuff going on this year, just all kinds. So, until then, take it easy, stay safe, bye.